think when you going back to Babylon, that means confused.
Yeah.
So when you come over, they place a lot of confusion, especially on Jake, man. So everything is out of order.
Yeah, they try to push the homosexuality on Jake. You got something?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you got.
You said the article. No. I'm gonna read this while you're pulling that up. Joshua 2 verse 9. This is dealing with Rahab. When the Israelites went to spy out the land that we was going to take, thus saith the Lord. And she said unto the men, I know that the Lord hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt. And what ye did to the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. As soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and earth beneath. So you see how when we came out, the other nations was terrified. They were in great mourning. They said their hearts fainted. They didn't have any courage because they saw that Israel was coming. Why? Because the Lord our power. So you see, when we came out of slavery, out of Egypt, all the nations were vexed. But when we're in slavery, all the other nations are happy. What does that tell you? That they are your enemies. And what they should have did was like what she did, because her household was saved, all because she had compassion on the Israelites. So guess what? She was able to live amongst Israel and her household. They were spared. That's what Esau should have did. That's what Amalek should have did. That's what Moab should have did. Then maybe things would have went a little differently. But no, y'all sought to destroy us. You had this systematic oppression ever since slavery set up. So now you got to get paid. You got to get paid back.
It reads, hey, y'all finna ain't gonna cut out the fire for the missile. It says, keep the body, take the mind. In other words, break the will to resist. It says, now the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigger, only slightly varying in degrees. But as we said before, there is an art in long-range economic planning. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring. In the horse and the nigger, a brief discourse in offspring development will shed light of the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but the concentration of the future generation.
That's why we're at Generation Z. This Generation Z is the most degenerate out of all the generations because all they know is homosexuality and folly. And that's exactly what Esau wants. He wants all of our people to look like Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's what he wants because that's a win-win for him. He wants y'all all to be Chief Keefs because he does nothing but win.
Can't let you talk about it like that. It's 300 now.
The other one, Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah, Bobby
That's what he wants. As long as y'all like that, he got nothing to worry about. But if y'all are educated, as far as the scriptures and what's right, if y'all are well-nurtured according to the scriptures, that's a problem. As the scripture says, he that teaches his son grieveth the enemy.
If I may add, that's why he's made his way, and he got his hands over those so-called gospel rappers, and you know what I'm saying? Like they sell outs too, man. You know, they're not telling you nothing worth hearing. You know, but it's yeah. You get the next generation. You plan things for the next generation, so that you always got that dominance control over what they know and what they believe. As you know, just like now, the children born in the 90s or the late 90s, they don't know what it was to have a landline phone or AOL or some shit. Like everything is quick right now. You know, if you left the house back then, you was just out. Like couldn't nobody get a hold of you, and you was just out. You missed some shit, you missed it. You know, but now it's like they got your mind racing, going focusing on this. I gotta check Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Everything is ready at your hand, and that's a distraction. It's just more distractions out here. You know?
Person is stupid. True.
Yeah. This is Romans chapter 10, and I started at verse 16. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah said, Lord, who hath believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily. Their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world. But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, which we just read that, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. But he says, is very bold, and said, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. But to Israel he said, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto disobedient and gainsaying people. And that's why we ended up in these captivities, man. Because the Lord was stretching out his hands. He was putting men before us and giving us his word. But we still wanted to do something different. We wanted to do what the heathens was doing. We wanted to look like the heathens. We wanted to worship what the heathens was worshiping.
Well, because when you rebellion, like a female who she basically she got strict parents and she got strict dating parameters. She's gonna go for what she can't do. That's what Jake does.
Yeah.
It feels good to be getting that little piece of pie you ain't supposed to touch. And they, on a wide scale, they do that with adultery.
Now more than ever, you got all these women that, oh, yeah, I'm married, but my husband lets me play, or I'm discreet, fun, and you must be discreet though. You must be like, you know what I'm saying? How can you trust this shit? You know, you can't trust shit out here in Babylon, man, except the doctrine, the true doctrine of the Lord, man. You know, it's just, and our women learn this shit from fucking Esau women, man.
And you said generation in that article. Why do you think our people are adamant to taking us to church when we're real young?
And they don't even, they go to church and then they can't even tell you nothing about, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. Oh, the same shit that's been pushed into your head, or the Lord loves everybody. Can you show me that? No, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter about this and that, and yeah, it really does. But you know,
it was just spiritual.
It says, therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its in its early years of development, and when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. For example, take the case of the wild stud horse, a female horse and an already infant horse, and to compare the breaking process with the two captured nigger males and their natural state. A pregnant nigger woman with her infant offspring take the stud horse, break for limited containment, completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in her comfort. Bring the mar and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand. And she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand.
You see?
Awesome.
That's enough on that whole thing that you are.
man, I'm telling you.
You can do so many lessons on that. But that's where it origins. The origins of our mental state, man, goes back to slavery. Because the Lord gave us over to this man and allowed him to do all these things because we disobeyed him. So But now we're waking up to who we are, and we are unlifting the skirt of our oppressor and shaming him for everything that he does. I wish Pt.4 would come to me and start quoting one of their so-called founding fathers. Well, Abraham Lincoln said, let me pull up a quote Abraham Lincoln said. George Washington was a slave owner. Well, Theodore Roosevelt, pull up a quote that he said also. See, you're going to get shamed because really you have nothing to do with it. Nothing. And there was a video of this Edomite woman, I guess she looked like an Edomite. At the beginning, she was right, but then she started going off kind of off at the end. She's pretty much saying there's a reason why you can't teach the truth in America, because if you take away the lies that were set up by the white man, what else do we have? We ain't got nothing. So it's important that we teach lies. That's what she said. And then she started going off by saying that the first people, black women, stuff like that, no, it's a dark-skinned man. You know what I'm saying? So she started going off a little bit, but you know what she's trying to say. But she hit it hard. She hit it home. She said America can't teach what the truth history is, because then it takes away from what they want to glory in. They have nothing to glory in. This is what they did. This is their history. That's why they're mad now, because they feel they're losing power. Oh, a cop killed a nigger and he got sentenced, he lost his job. We're losing power because our history states that we should be able to kill them and walk away. So now that we can get punished for that, we're losing power in our own country. But still they saying, oh, I love you, equality. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
Instead of smooth butter lips.
The whole chapter again is good. Just start reading verse 6. We'll start at 5.
All right, this is Psalms chapter 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
That's what that is. They encouraging themselves in an evil matter. I want to share this with you guys because this is how you get the slaves and the slaves forever. This is how you break down the household. Focus on the children, and then eventually it'll be autopilot from there. They're just coasting in the play. The effect will just coast itself, bring itself into manifestation. And then it kept going on, like I said, with the Planned Parenthood. It originally started in Harlem, New York, with a bunch of oppressed Jakes. They wanted to capitalize on all the oppression and affliction that we were suffering. So they came in there deceitfully and said, let us take the weight off your hands. Since you got too much going on, go ahead and give up your children. That'll make it easier for you.
That doesn't matter until the black woman is pregnant.
Right. That's true.
It is.
That doesn't matter to the black woman.
She become that wild ostrich mentioned in Lamentations 4.
That's why women don't like the truth, man.
Yeah.
Read something. Just read that article, man. Read that article to a woman. Watch how mad she gets. Because she knows that she took the bait. She ate from the tree that Esau offered. That her way of belief, which is independent, individualism, sexual liberation, was all decided, was all set up to destroy you. She's gonna get pissed off. I might try that one day. Just read that to a woman. Whenever she wanna get all up. I don't have a woman, but it'll be a good experiment. Watch how fast they run down the street.
Somebody's liable to make up some shit on you. No, but you know what? They might hit you with the verbal assault, causing mental anguish. That's gonna fucking send them into it's gonna fuck them up. But Esau, see, that's the devil that I'm talking about. But that we be talking about, cause he'll charge you for saying the truth to somebody and they fucking rattling their brain. Like, it's not our fault. It's not our fault that you can't handle the truth. That's his fault. The verbal assault causing mental anguish. Good for the devil.
What is that? That's a thing.
Yeah, that's a real charge.
Damn.
Anything, if you say something to someone in a verbal manner, or if you got bass in your voice and what you saying is, you know how they act all shook up, like you can get charged for that shit.
I guess in that case it's best to have her read it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be wise. That'd be wise. This is verse 6. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
You see, it's deep. See, everything Esau done was calculated and it was deep. And And the origin, the source of all of it is that hatred that they have for you Israelites. They have that hatred. Esau hates all the nations. He hates himself. But when it comes to you Negroes, they had to make a special plan to keep you on the ground. They had to come up. They had to make special arrangements for you Israelites, in particular. Keep them down, keep them oppressed, put them in slavery, yoke of iron, buck breaking, motherfucking. Don't teach them how to read. Set up divisions amongst them. Light skin, dark skin, old, young. Set up single mothers. Set up feminism. They're deep with that because they're thinking along. And like Margaret Sanger, she was a Malthusian eugenist. A Malthusian is someone who believes in the dominant race stand on top and the bottom race should be wiped out. That's the same with a eugenist. Eugenists believe, well, I may have had it reversed. Eugenicists believe that the dominant gene should be dominant and the other gene should be wiped out, which so by definition we should be on top.
Exactly.
But they, of course, they manipulate, science and try to say, oh, we're inferior and such and such. If that's the case, why they got to do so much work to oppress us? That's how you know who's dominant. Then we read that in Exodus. There are people who knew not Pharaoh, and they said we got to deal wisely with them because they more stronger than us. So if that's really the case, why they got to do all this work to oppress us? They should just let us do what we want and we'll destroy ourselves. But they know what'll happen, so they got to have all these measures put in place to keep us in the bottom.
Yeah.
From redlining and so forth and so on. And I forgot the point I was making. But being a Malthusian is one who believes that it's kind of like the same thing. So when she proposed the abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood, it was solely to exterminate you Negroes in the long run. But they're not going to tell you that. They came with deceitful words. This is your end. The inward thought of all of them is deep.